Yeah. Okay, shall I begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are okay. Right. I am Nahan. I'm from Malaysia actually. Okay. Today, myself and my colleague Rajvin will be talking on stimulus versus response. It's quite an interesting subject. This is something that all of us are going through every day of our life. Yeah, every individual, let it be children, parents, adults, elderly people, everyone, we do go through this stimulus versus response. Okay, but there are so many challenges in our life, and how are we going to react to this action? Yes. That's the reason that this topic will be of interesting, yeah, to many of us. Although most of the time we take it for granted, and we always blame the genetic, the surroundings, the atmosphere on the course of actions that we are taking. Yeah, basically, stimulus versus response is an action between the external event. Okay, the external event that is called the stimulus, and our reaction, which is called a response, to handle that situation. So, in between this, when there is a stimulus and there is a response, okay, in between there is a gap. This is what we call the freedom to choose. So, under any circumstances, let it be quarrels, misunderstanding, in discussions, in relationship building. When there is a stimulus, before we respond, okay, we all should have there is a space. There is a space where we can choose what course of action do we want to take. Okay, if it is a reactive person in that situation, and that reactive person is going through this situation at the moment of choice, they will usually react to the circumstances because they are reactive. Okay, spontaneously they act. For example, in a fight between two children, or let's assume two school students, yeah, two students, a fight goes on. Okay, where A punches B, what normally happens is B automatically reacts and counterpunch. That is what you call spontaneously both are reacting to the circumstances. It is not out of their own intention, but it is they are reacting out of their own circumstances. The circumstance is such: he beat me, he punched at me. I want to show that I'm strong also, so I also attack. Okay, let me quote. I would like to share with you a real incident that happened when I was the chairman of Parents and Teachers Association in one of the secondary school. This was in, I think, about 2002 or 2001. Okay. So what happened was there was a fight between two school children. Okay. From standard 8 kids. So during the fight, one person took a pencil and threw at the other person. A pencil is very sharp, and that pencil hit his eyes, and the child became blind after that. So it was a police case, it's a police case, and a lot of things happened. Parents were called in, and the school also had so much a problem. So when we analyze this, why is this happening? We can't blame the children because that is the way the children has been brought up to react. And some children want to show that they are stronger than the other party. Okay? So the stronger person will often win. So in this case, because of the argument, the person did not even think out of the blues. He just took a pencil which was beside him and banged threw at the other guy. And unfortunately, it hit his eye, you know, and it was a big case actually at that time. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, if only the child, before reacting, okay, if he paused himself just a few seconds, he just pause and think, his reaction would have been different because he was not in that position to think. He was not in the position to have the courage to just pause for a few seconds. And that few seconds would have made a difference to his action. Yeah. So this is what we call a stimulus and response. Okay. So in every stimulus, there is a response, and in between there's a gap. And that gap is the freedom to choose. So a proactive person, when I say proactive person is a person who is able to take charge of his life, take charge of his actions, takes responsibility of his actions. Proactive against a reactive person who doesn't take responsibilities at all. They do they have the blaming syndrome. No, it is not my fault, it is his fault. It is not, I didn't do it, he started it. So these are all the reactive perceptions or reactive thinking of reactive people. But if the person is a proactive person, he will use the freedom to choose the space in between. If there is an incidence, if there is anything that is challenging or I need to address, a proactive person, before he responds, even during meetings, when there is a meeting, there is some things that they do not agree, you know, before reacting to the concerns, just pause a little while, even a few seconds, the decision would be much better. Because in the space where there is a freedom to choose, if I were to think, and what I should think of the pros and the cons. If I do this, say, if I were to reply the other party to what I want to know, I want to do, what would be the consequences? Would be the advantages. If I am able to rationalize that, I would be in a better position to respond to the situation. Let it be in discussion, let it be in a quarrel, let it be in a fight, in any situation. People must always use the freedom to choose, before they react. And what are the qualities or what are the requirements you need for you to choose? You cannot just simply sit down and think what to do. No, you must use your human endowment. We human beings, we have got four human endowments. There are four human endowments which we need to use wisely before we take any decision on what we want to do. Okay? What are the four human endowments? Okay. First one is self-awareness. The second one is conscious. Third one is imagination. And the fourth one is willpower. So these are the four human endowment a proactive person will use before deciding on what course of action he is going to take. Okay. For example, during yeah, during a if there is a quarrel between two kids, okay, if one person before reacting he uses his imagination, no, if I hit him with this pencil, what would happen? What are the chances? It could hit him, it could miss him. What if it hits? If it hits, it may be a very big issue. I can be caught, I can be jailed, no, I can be taken disciplinary action. So this is imagination, although nothing has happened, he has not even done anything. But before fighting back, he used his imagination. Okay, imagination to see the past, look at the past, and look at the future. That is what we call imagination. Okay? His course of action will be very different because anything that he does after that, it is a choice he has made. Okay? And the consequences, he has to bear it. He cannot blame anybody. He cannot even blame the other person. He cannot say he made me angry. Nobody made us. Everybody got the free to talk what they want. Okay, I cannot say that guy made me angry. That is a wrong concept. I get angry because I choose to be angry. At the same token, I can choose not to be angry. You know, another another human endowment is conscious. That means you know very well. With a conscious mind, I'm doing it. I mean, I'm not doing it out of anger. I'm not doing it spontaneously. Whatever I'm doing is coming from deep inside me. It's a conscious mind. I'm doing it consciously. Okay. So second endowment. Yeah. Third one is self-awareness. Self-awareness is we must be aware what is right and what is wrong. Okay. That is what he calls self-awareness. I know this is what I should do in such a situation. During a discussion, if there is any conflicts, if I have the self awareness, I will know this is the right way to go. This is the wrong way to go. I must not give in to emotions. I must not give in to sympathizing. Yeah. So this self awareness can only come if you are a proactive person. Reactive person, you will never get this. They will never realize all this. Fourth one is willpower. It means determination. I'm a principle centered person. Okay. My principle is I should not do anything that hurts others. So willpower. Okay. I will do only what is necessary for the company. It's a willpower. I'm like a lighthouse. I am like a lighthouse. I am not going to deviate from my principle. So these are the four human endowment which doesn't exist in animals. You know, only human beings are capable of having these four human endowment. So we as a human, we must be able to use these four elements. If it's an animal, animals act on what? Okay, instincts. No, for example, the master and a dog. Okay, the master every morning 9 o'clock, the master rings the bell for the dog to come and eat the bowl of food. Okay, every morning master rings. So the dog is accustomed, is tuned to wait for the sound of the bell because it's the instinct. The instinct says, okay, uh, the bell is being rung. I have to go. I have to go and eat. So it automatically comes. You know, and even when, say, for example, if it is an animal, okay, when it sees a cat, it will definitely bark because it is not that it wanted to bark. The instinct, it works on instinct. Animals works on instinct, but human beings should not work on instinct. Okay? We are born with good sense, with a good, what you call, we are very different from animals. We got the six senses. So we must use all the six senses to behave like a human being. We should not act like that of an animal where anything happen, we spontaneously attack. Anything happen, we spontaneously do automatically. I no need to be reminded. That is what I am. That is what I have. That is the way I have been brought up. That is the way my surroundings is. So I have to adapt to the external situation. This kind of thing will only happen for reactive people. But if I am a proactive person, I will use these four human endowments, which are first one is self awareness, second one is conscious, third one is imagination, and the fourth one is willpower. So these are the four human endowments which all of us should use in any situation if we are able to follow this consciously. Okay, day in, day out, we apply these four endowments. Sooner or later, it will go into our subconscious mind. The minute it goes into a subconscious mind, that is when we will become more proactive and able to do a lot of good things. Even during our communication, we also use this, especially when you want to build relationship. What are the what human endowment can we generally use? We need not use all the four endowment together. We choose according to the situation. For this situation, this is the best endowment. Okay, in relationship building, which is the best human endowment? Okay, that is willpower. Okay, I do not want to make enemies. I want to be good to everyone. I want to communicate very well. The willpower must be there. I'm not going to sway. Okay, and I also have a conscious mind. I have a conscious mind to build relationship. If I have got these two, my communication with others will be much better to another person who doesn't use any of this endowment. Because so that so this is how the whole thing works. Okay. Whenever there is a stimulus and there is a response, we must be able to choose. We might be have the freedom to choose. Another classic example I would like to share with you. I think it happens everywhere, no matter where you are. When you are driving, okay, when we are driving, suddenly we see one car overtaking us on the right. I'm already in the middle lane. Okay, a car overtakes me on my right, very fast. Or I may also be in the fast lane. I may also be in the fast lane. There's a car at the back of me, hooting at me, honey, flashlight, flashlight. If I am a reactive person, what would I do? Okay. And if I'm a proactive person, what would I do? If I am a reactive person, I can either put emergency brake and bang, the guy will bang me at the back, or I can let him overtake and I chase him at the back. And not only that, I will also use all the languages I can against him. I will have a lot of negative impressions on him. At the end of the day, who is a loser? Not the other driver who sped, who overtook. The guy happily drives and goes off. Who is getting stressed? It is me. Because it is I who got stressed because of his action. But if I am if I use this one of this human endowment, okay, maybe I can use imagination. What could I imagine? Yeah, if I'm a proactive person, I could use imagination. I can always think, oh, might be the guy is having an emergency. So he's hooting, guy is hooting at the back, horning, and flashlight. So I just calm, cool down, and let him overtake. Please overtake. And I think maybe I may think he may be having an emergency. Someone may be admitted. So he has to rush. So if I choose this imagination, the human endowment of imagination, my feelings and my reaction would be very different, right? I will peacefully come to the center and ask him to overtake. Okay. So this is why whatever we do, we must always pause, especially for children. Okay, children, it is always good to pause. Just put your finger at the middle of your forehead here. Just about 5 to 10 seconds. 5 seconds will do. That short space of time will make you have a different decision. And during that time, you can always think because the choice is yours. And whatever action you do is your response, your choice, and you have to bear the consequences. You cannot blame anybody else. Yeah. So that is why we should always have a proactive mindset. Without a proactive mindset, we will all be alluded, will be all taken to the negative aspect of life. And the minute you go into the negative aspects of life, a lot of negative reactions will happen. And that is the one which really puts us into so many spiral consequences. You know, I always like to say in every talk, I also mention these three S: stress, strike, stroke. Because the minute you are very upset, the minute you're so tensed up, you're not able to use your human endowment. You are working on, you are being pressurized under the circumstances. You are being pressurized under the what do you call the need of your boss, who is very strict. He wants it there and there, whereas you cannot cope. Still, because he is a boss, you have to do it. Why does that happen? Because you are getting stressed. Yeah. Whereas, on the other hand, if you use this full human endowment, you will see the reactions is very, very different. That is how, in fact, this should actually start from the younger days. Okay, from childhood, children has to be inculcated with values. A person without a value will not be as peaceful as a person who is with value. When a person is with value, he is already a proactive person. He knows what is good and bad. He knows the right way to do things. He knows his vision. Yeah. He has got a vision to achieve. And all these things will only work only when you have all this. Sorry, only when you only have all this, then only you will be in a position to think before you react. Yeah. Although it is very easily said, it is quite difficult unless it has to be inculcated from the childhood. The parents must be the first source of disciplinary person. Not to say disciplinary, they are the best partners, the best friends for the children to upbring them. Okay. bring up in a good value, in a good manners, how to behave in society among friends, how do you overcome challenges, how do you build rapport with your parents, with your teachers. So the value always starts from the home. But sorry to say, but very often nowadays parents are very busy. They're very busy. They are the bread and butter. They need to look for bread and butter. They have no time to spend for the children. You can't blame them. That is the way the world is moving on now. Okay? So they expect the teachers to guide them. I would not like to take that concept of letting the teachers take the responsibility. It should always start from the home. Then only you can see your child develop, acquiring all the positive way of doing things, the proactive way of doing things, how to use the human endowment in any situation. Okay? I think there is no situation where this four endowment doesn't work. This four endowment works in every situation. You can tell me whatever situation. You use this four. Okay? That is, again, I repeat, yeah, self-awareness. You must have the self-awareness, okay, on the reality of life. Conscious. You must consciously know what is happening. You know the consequences. It is a desire that comes from within you. Okay. That is imagination. Imagine past in the future. When there's any situation, imagine the past. Yeah? You can always imagine positively. And the third one is, of course, willpower. I am a man of principle. I have a willpower. I am not going to sway. I cannot be influenced by anybody because I am who I am. Okay. So if we have this, I'm sure a lot of things can be solved. A lot of things will be good. And any individual, they will become very high, effective person in their life. Yeah, whether personal level or professional level or student level, parents level. It works for everyone. It is not isolated. It is not only for specific people. It is for everyone, including me and you. It works very well, provided we are proactive, we are responsible, we know what are doing, we have the freedom to choose. And when you choose, you must also be able to accept the consequences. That is the key. So with this, I think I have explained to the best of my knowledge. I hope it has given you some ideas, yeah, on what is stimulus and response. Yeah. So, is there any questions that you all need to ask? I don't know if Rashwin is here. Is Rashwin here? Okay. So I would like to give this to Rajvin because she will be taking over the laughter yoga, which is actually good for people who are very stressful and how to align them to accept the positive side of life. Okay, Rajvin, to you.
So thank you, Nahan, for for the wonderful first part of the uh talk. Today my session would uh be covering meditation, laughter yoga, and also to sum up what is stimulus and what is versus response, based on what I understand, and to elaborate what Nahan just mentioned. So now we would like to close our eyes, um, tr- try to think of nothing, and let us observe. Um, Close our eyes, try to think of nothing. Let us observe what what is what is bothering us today. What is bothering us today? Is it that people's opinion of us, our workload is too much, our our workload is too much, and we are so overwhelmed with our work, and we just trying to um we've just reached the we're just ending the first week of second week, I would say, or the first or second week of 2026. We're just figuring out what is our New Year resolution. How do we have so many stimulus that bother us every day. I want myself included. It's time for us to say, you know what, we just need a break. So this meditation is to invite you to stay calm and just let go, let live whatever circumstances you may face, and say it's easy to say you just want to. It's for me also. I sometimes feel like giving up as a trainer, as a laughter yoga coach, anyhow, as a doctor. As a doctor, as a many hats we play in society, right? And many some of us we need to be, be a people pleaser. Sometimes more often than not. So just close your eyes, ponder about that, and say, I let go, I release, and I forget. This is what I learned from hypnotherapy and counseling. So I used to be very reflective, but now just let go, let live, and let go, and stay in this position for 5 minutes. And when you are ready, open your eyes and say, I release, I let go, and I transform. You may open your eyes and smile. Ha 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 ha. So was that very refreshing? So for today's laughter yoga session, I have two basically um two stimulus two techniques that I want to show you. One is laughter yoga has 4 steps: clapping, breathing, childlike play, laughter exercise, and also silence. But today we are doing two laughter exercise, which is also silence and also argument laughter. You might be wondering what are they. So when we don't want to hear, when we don't want to hear, we can do silent laughter, silent without sound. and and you say, very good, very good. Yeah, that's the first way to respond to stimulus and responses. If anyone gives you respond with a silent laugh. And the second laughter, I have a second and final laughter before I start sharing and question and answer, is that argument laughter. Argument laughter. How do we do argument laughter when we have a stimuli and we have argument? The first we do like this. Ha 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 ha. You point at the person and you start laughing. Ha 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 ha. And very good, very good. Yeah. So that was a short meditation and laughter yoga for you. Now, um, um, it's time for my sharing. So, the best way to respond to as Miss Beautiful smile, the best way to respond to stimulus and versus respond uh, is by uh, uh, laughter and prayer. That is my quote for today. Now, special thanks to Dr. Shavana Khan from Maven Magic for inviting me and Nahan to share in this platform every Thursday. And my sharing for today is our sharing for today is on stimulus and uh versus response. Now, as what Nahan said, what is stimulus? Stimulus is the way how we react. We will straight away jump into conclusions. Nahan, you're right. And but stimulus versus response is a theory where we respond we respond with a pause. It's called breath awareness. And we respond with smile, and we respond with talk therapy or with laughter. Why is it called stimulus? Because, okay, why is it called stimulus? Stimulus is the subject matter, and response is the feedback people give to you, whether positive or negative. Now, how do you respond to stimulus versus how do you respond to stimulus versus response is that four key elements. I would like to elaborate what Nahan just said, is that one of the things is awareness. Awareness is, to me, as a laughter therapist and a trainer, we look in front of the mirror and we saying, or we we look in front of the mirror and say, we reflect. When we are sad, we are reflecting. When we argue, when when we are arguing or when we face emotions, we are we are acting based on our emotions, not our feelings, not the way we are thinking and doing. We should react um We should react to stimulus and response by thinking and doing instead of our emotions and body. This is what my counselor and hypnotherapist both told me. Um, and awareness is when we have an argument, we should use our mind to analyze it. And the next one is our environment. When our environment is positive, we respond positively. When we are respond when our environment is negative, we respond negatively. And it takes time for it to be positive again. But mostly we do it. It takes a few hours to respond it back physic positively within a half day or a few minutes. You respond with laughter. That's where laughter comes into play, where laughter will bring stimuli and response positively. So another technique is breath awareness. When we are angry, when we have a stimuli, whether positive or negative, we must act with our breath. We must do breath awareness. And we should do mirror work, saying that everything will be fine, everything will be joyful, everything will be calm. So, mirror work, laughter yoga, and breath awareness, and also environment plays an important role in this. How do we um how do we improve our stimulus to be most of the time more often more often than more often mostly positive than negative? How do we improve on that? So when we see a person's body language, we know that they are positive or negative. So anyhow, we must respond to stimulus and versus response in a gratitude way, with a smile on our face. And we must practice forgiveness, and we must tell ourselves that even though it's hard, also I can laugh. If I can do it, you can do it too. That's what I think. As a uh, writer for the ebook Healthy Lifestyle, um, Journey Towards Success, that's what I think. Because um, it every task or every problem has a stimuli in between, but then after that you respond to life or respond to the problem with in a calm manner, in a positive manner, with prayer, laughter, and mirror work. And the other one is also a person can do is journaling. Journaling helps to uh, reduce the stimuli and improve the response. Means that if a parent and child don't communicate with each other, writing is writing is the answer. But most of the time, as what Nahan mentioned, uh, parents should make time for the children, uh, because they are busy. As he mentioned, that time parents have no time for the children. Most often, uh, I have seen this in spastic schools and everything. Parents have no time to hug the children. Parents have uh, uh, mm, parents have to are too busy watching TV, or parents have uh, is actually very very scared of the children. That shouldn't be the way. So that's why journaling comes into play. And last but not least, but meditation is also a good way to reduce stimuli and response. A nicer word to put it is stimuli can be the trigger. Trigger is so to reduce trigger is, like I mentioned, is hypnosis. He, trigger is in the stimuli, hypnosis, mirror work, and so on and so. Laughter yoga is the option. So hope this talk finds you useful. Uh, reduce reduce stimuli and be a good listener by doing laughter yoga, and by communicating more to your loved ones, and by expressing your feelings more. That will reduce the stimuli and improve your response towards life. Thank you. And choose positivity over stimuli and instead of negative responses. Thank you. Do you have any questions, Shabana? And
Thank
Shabana,
you.
do you have? Yeah.
Thank you, Rajvin. I don't have question, but I'm really happy. This topic is really wonderful. I think we have Premji. Premji, do you want to share your feedback or any question? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was as always pleasant to listening to Rajvin and Nahan. Very stimulating topics, which is very true. I just want to share something. I was visiting my grandson and his grandmother. His paternal grandmother was busy in the kitchen. So he went and saw she was busy in the kitchen. He came to me. I'm the maternal grandfather. He comes and shows me a toy. I was on my handphone. I put down my handphone. I said, yeah, what is it that you want to share with me? So he could talk. He wanted to show me his toy. I said, yeah, it's a very nice toy. You got some of this? He opened up his playpen and allowed me into his domain. That was a place where nobody goes. Only he sits there. So if we pay attention to a child and we ask questions, they're so happy to respond. They're so happy to share. And I spent nearly 45 minutes, I think, with him there. Then he had to go and do his own stuff, his own poo-poo or whatever. So he went off. I think children spell love, Time, not the other way. If we spend more time, I often get this issue of, oh, why are children spending so much time on the phone? What are we doing? If we are seated in front of the TV or in front of our handphone, what example are we giving them? I have a TV. I have never switched on in the last 3 years. I'm not bothered because If the TV can teach me something about life, I don't have to come to Mavin. I come to Mavin because I learn about life. For wonderful people like you all coming and sharing with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Premji. You're a very loyal patron of the show. I really envy you. No, you have the patience to listen. Good. I really like.
So
Actually, what you
Nahan,
said is very, very true.
do you have
No,
anything
actually,
to
what?
add on to this?
Pardon?
Do you have anything to add on to what I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
said?
I'm just. Yeah, actually, what Rajvin said and what Premji said, I think they're very pertinent. It is very realistic and very practical. This is what every individual or even parents, they should take the first responsibility, bring up the child from the childhood. Otherwise, we will face a lot of consequences when the child grows up, and the child may be pointing fingers, that is the way I've been brought up. They will be blaming everybody except them. So I think it's very important from the start. It is a parent's responsibility to bring up the child and make them understand, make them what they should do. Of course, nowadays children don't like to be advised, not like those days. You can tell, oh, when I was small, I did this, so you also should do. I think those things never work
Yeah,
anymore.
comparison. Yeah.
Never work anymore. So we cannot, when we speak to our kids or grandchildren, we cannot use our past experience. It will never, never work, you know. So it should be at a personal level. The parents must also follow the evolution of the world. This is what the current trends. I must follow his way to bring him back. Yeah.
Yes.
So there's no such thing as either you follow my way or hit the highway. Those those are all the old, you know, old school of thoughts. Yeah. Now we have to go along. So the leadership must come from the parents, and I hope, in fact, what Mr. Premji said, I think I would agree. It is best that people should understand the reality of life. That is the key, lah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Prem. Dr. Shabana?
Yeah, thank you, Nahan. It was really wonderful advice. And yeah, I was just sharing that with my mother as well. Usually, how many people will agree to that? I was like,
Of
yeah, some
course.
will.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. So thank you. It was really wonderful. And I think if we all just learn to respond, because I think it's easier to react.
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Reactive, no need to teach.
Yes.
No need to teach.
Yeah.
It's already
Uh,
inborn already.
yes. Yes. So
The challenge
but
is to be
thank you for
proactive.
teaching the response. That was
Okay.
important.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Remember
Yeah.
the 4 human endowment.
Yes.
That is important. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Nahan. Thank you, Premji.
Oh,
Thank you, Rajvin. And see
okay.
you
Thank
all
you, all
again.
of you.
See you all
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.